Mr. Amit Sharma. So he's from IIT Roorkee, and he will give the details regarding the virtual lab and few experiment he will conduct. So welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, now I'm handing over session to Mr. Amit Sharma.
Okay, thank you.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So, good afternoon to everyone. And on the behalf of Team Virtual Lab, I, Mr. Amit Kumar Sharma, welcome you all in this webinar. As you all know, that this webinar is based on our virtual lab platform. And in this webinar, we will divide our time into three parts. First, I will give you a brief introduction about virtual labs. Then I will give you the demonstration of some experiments on virtual lab platform. At the end, we will discuss your queries. If you have queries at the end of this session, then we will try to rectify it. So first of all, the objective of this workshop, as you all know, that this workshop, this webinar is on virtual lab, and at the end of this webinar, you all are able to access and perform the experiment on our platform and understand the working of the experiment, that how you can access and perform the experiment, what is the requirement, how you can perform what we offer to you, and you at the end of this workshop you are able to understand the basic idea about virtual lab. So in this we will discuss the objective of our online labs, then we will discuss the features, then we will discuss that when we have our physical labs, what is the requirement of our online labs, and then I will demonstrate you the experimentation part, that how you can access these virtual lab from your own place. So first of all, what is virtual lab? Virtual lab is a project initiated by our Ministry of Education in 2009 under a mission entitled National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. When we are referring the term information and communication technology, we are talking about the internet. As you all know, that in these days we all are connected through internet, and due to this reason, our government of India wants to enhance the learning process of our user with the help of internet. So it will develop, our Ministry of Education wants to develop a platform on which a user can get a complete learning management system where they can avail the various tools for learning, including additional web resources, video lectures, animated demonstration, and self-evaluation. So basically, we will try to develop a database which are accessible to our user 24/7 and try to enhance the learning process with the help of internet. So the motivation behind our virtual lab is that, as you all know, that India is a very diverse country in the terms of geographical condition and financial condition also. There are so many colleges located in a very remote areas where we are not able to set up a physical lab in a college due to some geographical condition, and also there are so many colleges who are not able to set up a lab, physical lab, due to money constraint. And if somehow we are able to set up the lab, then the updation and the maintenance of instrument are very complicated and includes time as well as money. So to overcome all these problems, we have come up with an idea of virtual lab. And also, if we have our physical labs, then the physical presence of the user is very necessary when we are talking about the experimentation part. As you all know, that in a situation like COVID-19, when we are not able to access our physical labs due to lockdown, then we are not able to perform the experiment related to our theory. The theory part and the online classes will be done with the help of internet, and your faculty members provide you all the data, all the theory and all the video lectures on your online sessions, but you are not able to perform the experiments. So physical distance is always a barrier between our user and our experiments. So to overcome all these problems, we come up with an idea that a user, why we are not provide a platform on which a user can perform the experimentation part also. So to keep that in mind, we developed our virtual labs, and the main objective of our virtual lab is that we provide a remote access to our user, with the help of which they are able to perform the experimentation part from their own place. It means that if a user located at a remote area and they are able to access the hardware with the help of internet and able to perform the experimentation part, so the physical presence of the user will not be required. So we developed a platform and provide our user remote access to the labs in various disciplines of science and engineering, and also to enable students to learn at their own pace, because as you all know, when we are working on our physical hardware or we are performing the experiment in our physical labs, then we always have a time constant. You all are access your physical lab with a time bound period, and if somehow a student are not able to perform the experiment in the limited time, then he or she will wait for the next term. So we try to provide a free space to our user on virtual lab platform, because in virtual lab we are not working on the real hardware, we are working on a simulator, so a user can perform the experiment 1,000 times and make the connections until he or she will not get the exact idea, and he or she will not become perfect to that particular experiment. So the time limit, the time bound concept of our physical lab will be removed in our virtual lab. So a user can perform the experiment 1,000 times and learn at their own pace. It means they can perform the experiment 1,000 times, and we provide a simulator to a user with a free hand, and also to share costly equipments and resource which are otherwise available to a limited number of users due to constant of time and geographical condition. As I told you that there are so many colleges who are not able to set up the labs, which includes sophisticated and costly equipments. So we will try to give a platform on which a user can access these types of machines through internet. So when we integrated our all the objectives, then we will find our main goal, and that is that everyone must be on the same page. So we try to develop a database, a platform on which a user can access the same data and perform the same experiment. That experiment performed by the IIT students, NIT students, or some other good colleges who provides a good lab facility to their students. Just like Facebook. When you are login to Facebook, you can access the same data and you will get all the privileges, same privileges, but uh, another user of Facebook can avail. So on virtual lab platform, we are trying to make a platform on which everyone must be on the same page, on a same level. So to keep that in mind, we developed a complete learning management system in which a user can avail all the necessary information regarding to the experiment on a single page. It is not only the experimentation part, but also you can get all the all other learning material like e-books, e-contents, tutorials, quiz, web resources on a single page. So we are not just provide our user experimentation part, but also we developed a complete learning management system on which a user can enhance their learning process and become self-learner. So as I told you that our virtual lab project is a part of a mission entitled National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. It means that the mission named NMEICT integrates so many other programs, includes NPTEL lectures, spoken tutorials, and virtual labs. And there are so many projects running simultaneously 24 into 7 and free of cost to our user to enhance the learning process with the help of internet. And whenever our government of India comes with an idea that how they can improve your learning process with the help of internet, so the idea or the project first uploaded on the Sakshat portal. So if you want to learn something, you just go through our Sakshat portal also. So on Sakshat portal, you will find there are so many projects like NPTEL, spoken tutorial, and virtual lab. On NPTEL platform, you will find all the theory and the video content developed by our IIT professors and uploaded on the virtual lab on the NPTEL platform. And all these data and theory and video content are free of cost to every student, to every user. And all these videos are developed by the experts of their fields. And second important link on our Sakshat portal is spoken tutorial, on which you will find software tutorials for all the free softwares and free technologies are those who are available in market nowadays. And with the help of these software tutorials, you will become a certified developer and get a certificate from the government end. And on virtual lab platform, as I told you that you are able to perform the experimentation part. You can access and perform the experiments. So these are some important links of our Sakshat portal, and there are so many other projects which are running simultaneously on Sakshat portal. So here you can see some features. As I told you that there is no time constant on our virtual lab platform, so a user can access these labs anywhere, from anywhere, and at any time. Okay, and also we have a common web interface. It means that you are not, a user are not required to open up some another website to perform the experiment, because we provide all the essential data related to that particular experiment on a single page. So you are not required to open some another website to get the information about your practical. And also you can access these all these labs from various disciplines with the help of a laptop, PC, or with the help of your mobile phone, which are connected to internet. So you just require an internet connected PC, laptop, or a mobile phone to access our virtual lab. And we develop our lab in a very user friendly way. So a user are not required to learn some, do some coding part or some another thing. You just require to click on the buttons, and all the experiments are will be done by our simulators. So our backend and front end simulation are very user friendly, so that a user from class 5th are able to perform the experiment part. And all the data what you get from our website, on our website virtual lab, are high quality content, because all these data are developed by our professors from IIT. And before uploading the data on our virtual lab platform, the data will be checked and go through from go through from very quality checks, different quality checks, and after that it will be uploaded on our virtual lab platform. So you can rely on the data what you get from our website. So here are the differences between physical lab and virtual lab. As I told you that when we have our virtual labs, when we have our physical labs, then what is the requirement of virtual labs? So the first thing is cost. As I told you that to setting up a physical lab in a college requires a lots of money, because there are so many labs which requires costly and sophisticated instruments, and due to which the cost of the cost to setting up a physical lab become very high in cost. But in virtual lab, as I told you that you just require an internet connected PC or a laptop. So to setting up the cost of a physical lab will become almost zero in our virtual lab platform. The second thing is availability. As I told you that physical labs comes with a limited time and limited time bound period. But our virtual labs are available 24 into 7 to our user. The user can perform the experiment at any time on this platform. And also the experimentation part, as you all know that we perform the experiments in physical labs in a very orthodox manner. There is a very limited scope of innovation. But in virtual lab, we provide a large number of innovative ideas, interactive ideas to develop and to perform the experiment, which includes animations, self-quiz, some video demonstration. So we developed the experimentation part in virtual lab in a very innovative manner. And when we are talking about the user experience, we always talking about the physical labs, that we are not going to replace our physical labs, but if you are not able to access your physical labs, then we will provide a second best option in the term of virtual lab. And if you have your physical labs and you perform the experiment on our virtual lab platform before performing the experiment in physical labs, then the percentage of error will be decreases, because you get an idea that what we are going to perform in physical lab. So automatically the error will be reduced. You are not going to perform the mistakes in your physical labs when you perform the same experiments in virtual lab platform. So here you can see the broad areas of our virtual labs. Till now, we developed our virtual labs in these areas, which includes physical science, chemical science, mathematical science, computer science, and all other engineering and science branches. And we are trying to develop and integrate all other courses and all other branches in which our user, our students performing the experiments across our country. So to complete this goal, to achieve this goal, we will make a team. As you know, the participating institute, our virtual lab team includes so many IITs, some NITs, and some private universities which are working day and night to achieve our goal, that at some day each and every experiments across the country are become virtual and uploaded on virtual lab platform, so everyone can access the experiment. So here you can see a screenshot of our virtual lab environment, in which you can see we will provide a 3D space to our user, in which a user can roam around, take the reading, and perform the experiment. And at the end, he will get a report, which he or she will be submit to their respected faculty. And we will provide these types of simulators to our user, on which a user can make the connections with the wire, perform the experiment, take the reading, and plot a graph virtually. So as I told you that on virtual lab platform, you can perform the experiment 1,000 times. All these connections you are just seeing on your screen, you can make these connections 1,000 times, because you are working on a software, on a simulator. So if you make some wrong connection, then you are not worried about the wear and tear of the machine, and also the updation and the maintenance of instrument or our simulators is very easy, and we can just code and update our simulator with the upcoming technology. So the updation and the maintenance of the instrument, of the what we are facing in our physical lab, is removed in virtual lab. So till now, what we get around 1,300 nodal centers across the country, and around 2,300 workshops done till the date, and there are a large number of students and user who works and who perform our virtual lab experiments on daily basis. And there are so many universities which includes our virtual lab in their curriculum also. So we are trying to reach and connect each and every college of India to the virtual lab platform, and we will try to make our team bigger. So here you can see the statics. We get all these statics on a daily basis. So with the help of these statics, we provide a hassle-free experience to our user and also try to improve ourselves. And here you can see the top 10 experiments, and from top 10 experiments, around 8 to 9 experiments are come from our IIT Roorkee, and and we will try to improve ourselves and make our user proud on us. So these are some statics of our virtual lab. And now we start our interesting part, that how you can access and perform these experiments. As I told you that you just required internet PC, laptop or a mobile phone. And when you type the URL www.vlab.co.in, you will get our home page, and on the home page you will get all the necessary and essential information what you required to perform the experiment on a single page. And these are our users. As I told you that the college students who are not access to the experiments, which includes sophisticated and costly equipments, the high school students who are curious to knowing something and want to make up their mind that what subjects and what stream of science and engineering will he or she will pursue in their higher studies, and the researchers in different institutes who are collaborate and share the expensive equipments and resources, and the colleges who are not able to set up physical labs, so the student from those colleges can avail and perform the experimentation part and get all these data free of cost 24 into 7 from our website. So now we can start our second parts of workshops, in which I will give you the demonstration of our virtual lab experiments. So till now, if you have any query related to virtual lab, please feel free to ask, or we can move to our next session, in which I will give you a demonstration that how you can access these labs. So students, if you have any query related to that, please feel free to ask. Students, please be responsive. So you all are from first year now, students? Okay. So you are all from first year, so we start our experimentation part from a very basic experiments, and that is Ohm's law. I hope that you all know about the practical and you all know about the Ohm's law. So can anyone tell me what is Ohm's law? Please feel free. What is Ohm's law? Students? Anyone? Okay, so we
Potential
will.
difference between 2 points is directly proportional to current passing through the resistor.
Okay, great. Anyone else? Anyone else want to add something in this? So what if I increase the temperature 1000? Can my at that temperature my Ohm's law works or not?
At constant temperature, sir.
Yeah. So it means on a constant temperature, our current is directly proportional to our voltage. Okay. So you all know about the Ohm's law, but if you want to recall or revision your knowledge, then you just go to our website and perform the experiment to clear your doubts. So how you can access these labs? You just, as I told you, just required an internet connected PC, laptop or a mobile phone on which you just open your browser and type the URL on your search bar www.vlab.co.in, and you will find our homepage of our website. And here you will get all the information about virtual lab, the objectives, the broad areas on which till date we developed our virtual lab, the participating institutes. And here you can see two tabs, VLab Dev and Outreach. Our outreach portal on which you will find the information what is going on in the outreach activities and and what is the date of our upcoming workshops, the place. So we start from our very basic experiment, that is Ohm's law. So to perform the experiment, you just click on the electronics and communication link from our broad area. When you click on the electronics and communication, you will find that there are so many labs available in this electronics and communication area, and each lab contains around 15 to 20 experiments. So till now we developed around 250 labs in which you will get around 1500 experiments. Okay, you can access all these experiments, due to which our virtual lab platform enhancing and encourage our students to think interdisciplinarily. It means that if a computer science student wants to perform the experiment from civil, he or she will be free to access our civil labs. So you can perform any experiment from any branch on our virtual lab. So to perform the Ohm's law, you just click on the basic electronics lab, which is developed by IIT Kanpur. And when you click on the button basic electronics lab, you will get the front page of the laboratory, virtual laboratory, on which you will get the introduction, that which type of experiment you will get in this, then the list of the experiments, instruction that how you can perform these experiments, then the technology used to develop these labs, the peoples include in the teams, then your feedback. So when you click on the list of the experiment, you will get around 17 experiments, and from these 17 experiments you will get, and you can access and perform any experiment. So we are going to perform our Ohm's law. So I just click on the Ohm's law. So as I told you that you will get all the necessary information on a single page. So here you can see that you can get the theory part, the procedure, that how you can perform the experiment, then our simulator, then the quiz for self-evaluation, then we have assignments and the references. So when we click on our simulator, you will see a variety of Ohm's law will be appear on your screen. So as I told you that in virtual lab, the scope of innovation is very high, very large. Here you can see that we perform Ohm's law in different variations. So when we go to our physical lab to perform our Ohm's law, what you required? What is the list of instrument you require to perform the experiment? Can anyone tell me? Please feel free. What are the instruments you require to perform the experiment of Ohm's law in your physical lab?
Voltage source resistor, voltmeter, and an ammeter.
Okay, and some wires to connect all these.
Yeah, wires.
Okay. So before performing the experiment, we have to develop or draw a circuit with the help of wires. So first, we draw the circuit of Ohm's law. When we click on the Ohm's law draw circuit, you will get these types of instruments, virtual instruments. So here you can get voltmeter, resistance, ammeter, a voltage source, and ground. So if you are a first time user, you just click on the instruction, follow the instruction and make the connections. And if you make some wrong connection, then you have not to be worried, because if you make some wrong connection like that, and when you click on the check button and you get the message that your connection is wrong, you just delete all the connections and make these connections twice or thrice or repeat. Okay, so first you just click and drop and drag the wire to make the connections and click on the check button. The message appears that your connection is correct. Now we can proceed to our next step, and that is to perform the experiment. So as you all know that in Ohm's law, we keep the resistance constant and fluctuate our DC voltage. So with the help of these controllers, a user can set up the resistance value and here you can see the value of resistance 28 kilo ohms, and I make these resistor value constant and increase our DC voltage, and you can see that when we increase or decrease our DC voltage with the help of these controllers, our reading in ammeter and voltmeter fluctuates. Okay, so if I take this reading on this voltage, so I how I take this reading, we just click on to add to table button and the value of voltage and current automatically registered and automatically stored in your experimentation table. That at resistance 28 kilo ohm, when I applied a voltage of 18 volt, my current is 0.643. Okay, ampere. So with different voltage, I take around 5 to 6 readings. Okay, here you can see that I take 6 readings to plot a graph. First we take the reading and then we plot a graph according to our readings. So when we click on the plot, a graph will be generated, and here you can see a print button. So with the help of this print button, you get the printout of this experiment, these connections, and this graph also for your further use. So I hope that you get an idea that how you can work and how you can perform these experiments on our virtual lab platform. So student, you get an idea, na? Please response.
Yes, so understood.
Okay. So now we just move to our next experiment from this lab only, and the experiment is the half wave rectification and the full wave rectification. You know about the half wave and full wave rectification or a rectifier? What is rectifier? You studied
The
or not?
device which converts AC into DCs.
Okay, so you know about the half wave and full wave rectifications. Okay, so the experiment number 6 and 7, both these experiments are from full wave and half wave rectifier. So when you click on these links, you will get the same, the theory part, the procedure part, then the tutorial, then the simulator, the quiz, the references. So all the necessary information you will get on a single page. And if someone is stuck in between our experimentation part, we also provide an instruction button. So you just click on the button and get the next step, that how you further proceed. Okay, so just if I follow the instructions, then first I have to set the register. Okay, so here you can see a slider with the help of which you can just set your resistance. Then the second instruction is click on the on button to start the experiment. Here you can see the on button, you just click on that and our experiment is started. Now double click on the sine wave button to generate input waveform. I just click on the sine wave, and here you can see a sine wave is generated. Okay, and then vary the amplitude, frequency, voltage using the controller. So here you can see the frequency. Okay, with the help of these sliders, I am able to change the frequency of my signal, then the amplitude. Okay, this is my input signal. Click on the dwell button to observe both waveforms. So when you click on the dwell button, you will get both waveforms, means input and output. So, and also With the help of these controllers, I can change the position of my signal. The Y position, okay. And when I click on the oscilloscope, you will get the output. Okay. And here you can see all the calculations, all the values, what you required, the peak current, okay, of my signal, of my experiment. Okay, so these types of experiments are available on our website. So these are very basic experiments. You can perform all these experiments by just click on the buttons, and there are no real hardware involved in this. So you can perform these experiments 1,000 times. Okay, so now and now I just want to show you some experiments in which we use innovative ideas. Like as I told you that in our physical labs we developed and we perform the experiments in a very orthodox manner, and the scope of innovation are very less. But in our virtual lab there are so many ways to develop an experiment to give a basic idea of a concept to our user. So have you study studied the gates, logic gates in your previous course, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You know gates. Okay. So we developed a lab, uh, digital application lab. Here you can see the link, digital application lab new, which is developed by IIT Bombay. So in this, what we do, here you will get all the links like in introduction, objective, list of experiments. See, you can see that there are around 14 experiments from which you can choose any experiment and perform it. So what we developed in this, that we take up an example of from our very daily life and relate these examples to logic gates and provide a simulator with the help of which a user can understand the basic of AND gate. So first we start from a very basic and very easy gate, and that is AND gate. So basic of AND gate and its application in the car wiper control. So with the help of car wiper, we try to give an idea to our user that how a AND gate works. So when I click on my experiment, you will get all the theory parts, the truth table of AND gate, pre-test, that what is my user is have any knowledge about AND gate or not. Then the procedure, that how you can proceed and perform the experiment, and then the simulator. So here you can see that we provide two buttons to our user and a wiper. So as you know from the name that we take the the example of car wiper. So can anyone tell me that what is AND gate? What is the output of AND gate if I provide 0 0 input
0, sir.
0? Okay. And what if I provide 0 1 but I
0.
get 0? So it means until I am not providing or until my inputs are not true, both the input are not true, until then I am not getting a positive input, a true output. So we take car wiper control here as an example and provide two buttons. First, the ignition of the car, and the second is wiper. So if I on my car, I just turn on the ignition button and off the wiper button. Can my wiper works? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Okay. So if I switch off my car, I just switch off the ignition and turn on the car wiper button. Can my car wiper works?
No, sir.
Okay. So it means that when we provide both inputs true, it means I on the ignition and the wiper button also, then I will get a true output and my car wiper start working. So okay. So with the help of these innovative ideas, we try to make our labs interactive and innovative. Okay. So anyone tell me uh, any other application of AND gate in our daily life? Any other example of AND gate? Anyone? So I think that you all have your email IDs. Everyone have now? Students, you have your,
Sir.
है ना? So what you get if you put a wrong username and a correct password? Are you able to access your
Invalid email.
invalid? It means that until you not provide both the input correct, it means the first input is your username and the second input is your password. When both these inputs become true, then you will get the access to your email ID. So it is an example of AND gate. We provide two inputs and get a single output. Okay. So to keep that in mind that there are so many interactive and innovative ways to uh, to teach our user concept, we develop these types of lab also. It means we innovate in our experimentation part. We develop innovative labs to our user also. Okay. So as I told you that a user can perform any experiment from any branch at any time 24 into 7. So I hope that you will get an idea that how you can access these labs, what is virtual lab, and how you can benefit it from our virtual lab platform. So till now, if you have any query related to virtual lab, any question, any problem, just feel free. We are trying to resolve it. If you have any query, any idea, okay. So as I told you that there are so many links, and here you can see a link VLab Dev. So on this portal, when you click on this button, you will get our VLab Dev website homepage, and on this page you will get the labs which is developed by our nodal center students. And when you click on the approved labs, you will get that there are so many labs developed by these nodal centers. And when you click on any of these labs, you will get the college name and also the team. So if you are interested to develop these types of virtual labs and wants to become a part of our team, then you can send your proposal to us and become a team member, and we will help you to develop your ideas into reality, and you will get a certificate from our end. So if you want to develop, you are interested in programming, interested in development activities, you are most welcome. So till now, if you have any query related to virtual lab or any type of query, please feel free. Are you able to perform these experiments now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I hope that in future you all are going to perform these experiments, and also I wish that all of you try to develop your own virtual lab and become a team member of our mission. And with these words, I am ending my session, and within 5 to 6 minutes, we will provide a feedback and attendance link to you.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you
Okay,
so much, Jamit sir. So, students, please check chat box. I sent feedback link. So once you fill the feedback form, you will get the certificate on your email ID. So please write correct email ID. Okay. So please write correct email ID and the correct name. So you will get certificate directly on your mail ID.